I have tried to keep mine really simple. Um, the last thing I want to do is be a salesman. I'm trying to walk in and be a communicator, make a friend. I'm offering people a spot on these tables. So when I walk in, as you can see, I've got my board, my sample board in my little pouch that I carried in, and then I've got my notebook that I've got stuff in here. That's all. I walk in with this under my arm, and I'm walking in there. And when I walk in, I said, "Hey, I'm Stan Fisher." And I asked for the owner. Hopefully, I've done enough research that I know that. But if and that makes a total difference if you really want to get past the gatekeeper and whatever. But walk in there and say, "Hey, is Crystal available?" Well, no, but what you got going on? Well, I'm Stan Fisher, and I'm doing a community project with the Pub on the Bricks down here, the restaurant. You guys probably familiar with it. Great food, great prices, and what we're doing is we are replacing all of their tables. And right then I pull out my sample board. I said, we're replacing all their tables, and we're partnering with local business to promote local business. It's not about Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's. This is about local doing local, and we promote local business on tabletop advertising. This is actually what their spots will look like. Okay, and I have my laminated layout here, and I say these are the spots that we have available. So tabletop advertising, something you're familiar with? Yeah, most of them go, yeah, sure. I said, well, these are the spots I got available, and we're on there for 3 years. It's a amazing way to get your business out there, your message out there. It's not an 8-second billboard. It's not a 15, 30-second TV spot where somebody can surf the channels, turn the page. We got people's attention for 30 minutes to an hour while they're sitting there eating. Pretty hard to eat, not look down, wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So we are looking to see if this might be something you'd be interested in. Right then, they usually go, "What's the price?" I said, "That's a great question." The tables are in there for 3 years. There's 4 different sizes, 4 different pricing on my tables, 6 by 6, and then I just point to them on my board: 6 by 6, 6 by 4, 6 by 3, and a 4 by 4. We sell them by the square inch. One price includes the graphics and the QR code. QR codes are a new technology that's becoming very familiar with most people. We can send people right to your website or your Facebook, whichever you prefer. The most popular and the best bang for your buck is this 6 by 6. We give a 10% discount. This one starts out at $24.87. We get a 10% discount if you pay for it up front, or we can spread it out over 3 months. June, July, and August, if that's, if people need a little cash flow help. But that's is $22.38.30 is what it is for with the discount. Or if you want to be on both sides of the table, we give an extra discount, and that's $21.13. Okay, does that look like something you'd be interested in? And I start with the 6 by 6, and I don't go there unless I see body language, or they'll ask me, well, what's it cost for these other sizes? And then I've got them all on my sheets right here. And from then on, it's just following their questions and answering their questions, showing the price. If they're interested in signing up, I got contracts right here with me in my sheet. And basically, that's my presentation. I keep it simple, try to talk to them about how's business going, whatever they want to talk about there too. But and I know business owners, I've been one all my life. They're busy. They don't want to visit unless you catch one that's not doing nothing. And that's usually the exception, not the rule. So I just, it's real simple. It's make a friend, make a sale. And if they say, well, it's not something I'm interested in, or I'll have to talk to boss, got to talk to my partner. I need to check my budget and see if we got any money left in the advertising budget. That's fine. And I said, well, when would you like to get back with you? Because these are going fast. As you can see, I've already got some of them already sold. We hope to have it done by the end of the week. When would you like to get back with it? Tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow then. And my greatest asset then becomes my salesman's call sheets. I track everybody, everything. When I get back in my car, I make notes what they said, who it was, who I talked to. If the owner's not there, I put his name in there so I know who to ask for tomorrow when I go back. I track how many businesses I stop at every time, every project I do, to know what my closing rate is. You know, you can't monitor what you don't measure. And so, man, I track everything that we do. And so I've got files of it on every project. I track all that. So anyway, that's basically my presentation. It's quick and simple because I know business owners are busy. You know, if they start asking questions, that's good, because if they ask questions, that means they're interested. Okay. So I don't try to give them any more information than I have to. They all want to know what the price is. So you got to give them enough before they ask that, and show them I show them my sample board. I show them my printout. These are the spots I got available. And it's interesting. Most of them think this is the picture of the restaurant, the tables. So I have to make sure they understand every table will have this layout. Every table looks like this. Okay. There's 28 spots on all 30 tables. So where would you like to be on these tables? Every time somebody sits down in there, they're going to see your ad. Anyway. Questions? You know, I've tried doing it the long way when I first got involved, going through all this stuff, and Tony taught me. I've got him on a video, all this, and I found out that most business owners, if they are familiar with advertising, they're familiar with branding, they're familiar with the restaurant and community, you don't got to sell them. You don't got to spend too much time, or I don't. It's like, hey, it's a numbers game, and if you want the numbers to work, you got to work the numbers. So I track them all, and until they tell me no, I'm going back the next day and the next day, or whenever they tell me. But if I don't see at least 20, if I don't fill out one of these sheets a day, there's 20 on a sheet, I don't feel like I've done my part for the day. So, and hopefully if you're selling and it takes a while to fill out the contracts, then 20 is a pretty good day. But you know, depending on whether you have cards and you're running cards, or you're running leads, or running referrals, you always want to ask for referrals. That's what we do.
Perfect.
We try to get all of our paperwork done every evening, get that on the computers, get it up so that the office can stay caught up and we're not getting behind on what we're doing with paperwork. The faster we do it, the more we're into it, the faster it gets done, the easier it is for us to complete the project.
Mm-hmm. Speed. Awesome. Any questions?
Dan, can you talk a little bit about how you get referrals from your advertisers, and then other ways that you get referrals?
Yes, okay. Several different ways, but the main one is if they say yes or no, whatever they say, I'll say, well, especially if they buy an ad, it's like, who else would you like to have on these tables with you? And I've had business owners just pick up the phone right there and call somebody and say, hey, I've got a guy in here selling tabletop advertising at the Pub on the Bricks, and you probably need to see what he's doing. And I go right out there and, man, that's a hot lead. So if they're buying an ad, who else would you like to have on these tables with you? If they say, oh man, no, this is a great idea. I've had a lot of people say, this is a great idea. We just don't, and that's more money than I've got right now or whatever. And so we say, well, who do you know that that would want to be on these tables, that want to support this restaurant and get their message out, you know? One of the best things that we've done lately, though, is Crystal with this Facebook posting. Holy cow, this double project we just got done, 56 ads. We sold 30 of them were off of Facebook. We try to utilize everything we can. We've got cards in all of our restaurants, at least for 10 days, 2 weeks. Those are good referrals. Doesn't mean that you can't do a project without them, but it sure speeds it up when you do. Referrals come from just talking and asking. It's just like if, you know, it took me a while to learn how to ask for two ads, you know, and it's just saying it. We give an extra discount if people want to be on both sides of the tables. And when sometimes for people who want to have the most exposure at a restaurant, they'll buy an ad on each side of the table, you know, and so it just takes a little practice and remember to talk about it. But I don't like to use a phone anymore, and I have to. So when I'm face to face with people, it's like, who else do you know that would want to be on these tables, or who would you like to have on these tables with you? That's my favorite question. Somebody buys an ad, it's like, who would you like to have on these tables with you? Because business owners know each other. They have coffee together, they have breakfast together, they have chamber meetings together. I mean, you never know. And some of them will tell you and some of them won't, but you know, you miss every shot you don't take, so you have to ask. But I've learned with communicating with people, if people aren't asking, they're not listening. I see a lot of people that tell way too much information when people aren't even interested in the answer. So I try to give them just enough to create a curiosity, get them going, and then look them in the eye, say, what questions do you have? And let them ask me, and then shut up and listen to what they're asking, and then answer that. You know, and it's like what the old saying is, the first person that talks is the loser. So you got to wait for them to talk, answer the questions, be nice, have manners, be professional. You know, people skills are a learned thing. Sometimes it's interesting to me that the language people use today, and you gotta kind of be a chameleon. And if you're talking to contractors and lawn care guys, it's hard telling what they're going to say and what they're doing. And you know, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so it's like, man, smoke tears my eyes up, and I've had to sit there and have them blow smoke right in my face. You do what you got to do, you know, and you be nice about it. You're there to help somebody find a need and fill it. So main way to get referrals is just to ask.
Yeah. Perfect. Any other questions?
I have a question. It's Mary O. On the Facebook, I'm still getting a poor. I don't get any response rates where they give me a text or tell me. I get kind of a soft lead. I've gotten 2 that have turned into ad sales, but I'm not getting 15 or 20. So what is it that you're doing? Is it $100 at a pop, and is it a boost, or what is it?
We are boosting our Facebook ads, and you know, we spent some on those 56 ads, 2 projects. We spent about $1,500 boosting it in 3 different periods. But 30 ads, that's about 1% of what the income was. So, you know, it's the same thing. same thing. I believe if you treat this like a big business, it'll treat you like a big businessman. So we treat it like a big business and have stuff going and understand that you get what you pay for. We were a little apprehensive when we first got started on what to do, and when Crystal figured out the boost thing and the categories of what to do it with, and we've had tremendous success with them now. But there again, we're in the Midwest. We don't have, we've had one of all the things we've done, and all it was somebody bad mouthing the restaurant, not anything we were doing. So.
So I'll put a little bit more money out there. I've been doing, like $10 to $15 per day, and not doing a boost, just doing that, running the ad. So, but we're doing a budget so that it's, $200 over 5 to 7 days, sometimes 10 days. But it sounds like you're putting all the money. I think Crystal says something like 300 for one boost.
Well, most of ours are 50 to 75 for one boost. It depends on what city we're in and what we're doing and how many miles we're trying to cover. But for 4 or 5 days, we'll do, anywhere from $300 to $500, depending on the size of the city.
And what categories are you using?
Crystal, you want to pitch in here?
Sure. We don't do categories. I just do an age range, a demographic area, and then the dollar amount.
Okay.
And we don't do ads. I just boost the posts. There's a difference. And I have just felt that the posts and then boosting them would give us the biggest bang for our buck. And so far it's worked really, really well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm doing the ads. Instead, I'll do a post. But you're posting an ad, right?
Well, you do a post just like any Facebook post, but any post, it doesn't matter. And then you boost that post, and that's where you pick the geography that you want it to go to and the age range that you go to. And I do 23 to 65 plus for the age. Really nothing scientific about that other than anybody that's owns a business more than likely is going to be at least 23 years old. So.
Any other questions for Crystal?
How do you keep your hair looking so great when you're out in the heat all day?
Well, actually, I wear it up a lot, especially where we're at right now. It is humid, so there's no way to keep curling that. So yeah, it's up on top of my head in a messy bun. Emphasis on messy.
Got curly hair like me, and then if it's humid, there's no way of straightening it.
Well, mine, I wish I had your problem, but no, mine, I beat it to make it curl. So if I get in the humidity, it goes straight.
Well, Stan and Crystal, we appreciate it a lot. You guys are tearing it up. Definitely.
Oh, we're losing you.
Setting a great issue. Anyway, I was just saying, we're just so proud of you guys, and appreciate being willing to help and take time out and help some others out.
Happy to.
What other questions do we have?
Are you guys doing any cold calls to actually set appointments up on the phone, or is it really just feet on the street and Facebook?
I don't do any cold calls. It's either, knocking on doors or Facebook or referrals or cards. We've not done any cold calls, no.
Okay. Good to know.
What size cities do y'all really try to hit? Do y'all, like the town that I live in, I'm probably got 3,000 people in this town. We got 3 red lights. So what size city would you actually try to aim for by any chance?
Well, it's interesting. We're getting ready to do a project in a town that very size, 3,100 people, but the ideal ones that we've had such good luck with are anywhere from 10 to 25,000. That has that main 1 or 2 restaurants where everybody goes to, everybody knows of them, and that's where we've had our best success. But we just did one in Wichita, a town of 300,000, and we now that COVID's over and they're busy, and we sold 2 sets of tables in 15 days of selling, and did 2 installs in that time too. So there's been lots of discussion about the perfect size town. I don't know if there is one, but to me, it's the perfect restaurant that makes the difference, not the size of town so much, because where we're at out in rural America, you get away from Wichita, we're in rural America. And the thing that we've captured now from these Facebook posts is surrounding communities and surrounding businesses. Now we're starting to draw from a 20 to 50 mile an hour radius from these restaurants of people that really want to be on a part of them, just because their business is mobile. They're doing stuff in rural America. So I think it has a lot more to do with the restaurant, the restaurant owner, and the community that they're in, more than just the size of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so with that, you're gonna look at numbers going to the restaurant. I mean, that, you know what I'm saying? And when they have a good number, and you can see it's a busy restaurant. And then you get with the restaurant owner, and they buy into that community aspect of it and really understand it. That's where he's had the best success at getting that combination. Any questions? Cindy, anything online?
Someone wants to know has Stan's sales ratio changed since he started, and what is it?
Well, it's definitely improved because we got started the week of COVID. So I sold my first ad like 3 days before they shut the world down. So we took a couple months off and tried to blow through that. And then when I got back out there, I got to practicing, and we were in a big area when we first got started. So yes, but when we get out in these rural communities where the restaurant is really popular and going, and we're selling them out in 3 to 5 days, my ratio is 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 5 I'm selling. So, we're still hitting some numbers because not everybody's got, the money or the capabilities or even the want to, but when you're hitting 20 businesses a day with a short presentation, you get to go through lots of numbers, and the word gets out. And every day at lunch, I'm in the restaurant from I don't know, I try to stay in there from 12:30 to 12:15 to 1 every day, meeting people, and I've sold ads in there while I'm having lunch. So talking to the waiters, the staff, and the owners, being familiar with everybody and everything that's going on in there, and you see somebody with a shirt on or a truck parked out front with graphics on it, man, I'm looking for and asking them and talking to people. So our closing rate has improved a bunch, but our picker's gotten better. We're picking better restaurants, and that makes a big difference. We've learned how to try not to get in too big of a urgency to pick a restaurant over a good one, so.
So that's a great topic. Let's go into that since we haven't had any questions. So, because you are going through them so fast, obviously you're constantly looking for restaurants so how, explain that, help them understand the broader picture, so that you're not, sold out of a restaurant and looking for another one.
As we're traveling to and fro from different restaurants and our backgrounds, I rodeoed and I traveled, we know, and then my son and I, we own 15 Verizon stores in 15 different communities, so we know some of these communities. Crystal sold Yellow Page ads for 25 years, so she's familiar with them. But we'll Google them, we'll research, and then as we're traveling and talking and we're trying to keep them lined up all the time. It's just when we're in a community doing one, that's referrals too, man. We're always talking about where else do you have a restaurant, and we get through writing a contract on somebody, or especially at our celebrations that we do. It's like, where would you want to go next? What restaurants do you want to go next? It's talking about that, but we do a lot of research on Google. We join a lot of community social media sites and watch, and Crystal's amazing with that kind of stuff. And so she joins all them. This last one, we did that boost, and we got on some selling sites. We got on some community sites. So then when we got done with the celebration, we got on there and put on the celebration. We had amazing feedback from the celebration people. So it's getting your name out there. It's keeping people familiar with what you're doing. Because we're traveling, 3 to 5 hours away from home to some of these places, but some of them been the best ones. So, and when you're doing them fast, we get them sold out and then go kick back and do the paperwork. So, yeah, we've done 7 projects already, and we should have 9 done before the 1st of July.
Nice. And that's where you said exactly, we're already in the area. I do it at the sale too. When I'm asking for referrals, I also ask for referrals on restaurants. Where's another restaurant that you would like to be in that it's got some of the same similar, but maybe a different style. I'm looking for maybe something, if I did a buffet, or it doesn't matter what else, what other kind of restaurant would you refer, and get multiples. That way I'm looking at those restaurants while I'm there selling, right? I may take a day and go over there for lunch and get them set up for the next thing I'm doing in that town. So I don't have to think about it. I already know. And if you don't have it by the installation party, definitely, they might not give you referrals before. Once that all comes together, they should be willing to give you referrals. So some other good restaurants in the area. And like he said, they may tell you, oh, there's one and it might be 20 miles away. If they're pulling people that far, it's a destination spot, and it very well could be very good.
In fact, one of these ones we're getting ready to do came from that very thing. An ad that I sold to a insurance lady, Farm Bureau. When I got done with that, she said, well, have you ever thought about Spearman, Texas, my hometown? It's 25 miles away, and man, we got a restaurant over there I think it'd be good and whatever. So we got to look and researching it. It's like, man, we're not sure the town's big enough, whatever. And the next time I saw her, she just kept asking me about it. So we asked around to some more of them, who else would like to be over there? And I mean, we hadn't even started selling them. I got 5 ads already sold, just from previous advertisers that are 25 miles away. So when we drove over there, nice people, man. These guys are so excited when, it's that same thing, a little skeptical. I didn't even go in there and eat. I just walked there and said, hey, do you know this lady? She told me I need to come by and see you. This is what we're doing. Oh yeah, we know them. And we sat down there and talked. We were probably there. We were almost there 2 hours, just talking to them, showing them stuff, end up setting the cards up, got the logos, got it all set up. These guys are excited. It was kind of like, guys, we need to have some response, or this may not go to fruit, may not finish out if we don't get enough people. So we weren't gone an hour and they'd already posted it on their Facebook. Hey, we're getting new tables. And he took a picture of my sample table and had it on his Facebook and said, anybody that's interested, get with us. So, and when I talked to him day before yesterday, he already had 12, 15 cards in 4 days. So it's getting people excited and getting them to partner with you and communicate with them. It's just tell them, hey, we're here to work with you and partner with you to make this thing work. And the more you help us, the more we can help you. So, yeah.
So I think the one of the big parts about what he just said was finding that restaurant that's good and busy, but also where the restaurant owner is excited and willing to help, because it can make a huge difference. Can you do the ones where they're not very helpful? Absolutely. We do loads and loads and loads and loads of them. But if you can get that restaurant owner that's excited and willing to help, posting, a thing on their Facebook page, and I can help you with that, as well as making a thing you can send them to post. But definitely that excitement, and that we're partners with you to make this happen, to get you some new tables and to build this community project, local shopping, keeping the money in the community. Okay, question. I know that some of the people do a charity. How do you go about talking with the restaurant on a charity they may want to have in the center with their logo?
Well, we don't put them in the center with their logo. We look at that as a way for us to tithe back to the project and give back to the community. So what Crystal and I do, and everybody's got their own deal. This is our own business. So we buy an ad and we pay for it and we donate it to them, and holy cow, I think God's blessed that. I mean, this last project we did, the preacher of this church we give the ad to at the celebration, he got up and give a spiel. He must have thanked us 3 or 4 times for letting them be on the table and being a part of this project, and I mean, it was amazing testimonial of community projects, a win-win. And so, and I told them all when he got done, I said, for you that don't know, Crystal and I donated that spot to the church, and it's a popular church in the community. In fact, the owner of the restaurant goes there. She's the one that suggested we do that one. And so I said, for you that don't know, we feel like that's the way we give back to the community and do all this. And so we do it. We give, I give one to where we used to live. It was, I can just tell you the story real quick. When I worked at UPS, right across the street from, every morning when I left was one of those handicap workplaces where they bring people in from all over our part of the state to this development center, and these kids get to work there, and they're so happy and grinning and excited to be there. And I always wanted to rent one of the UPS trucks and go in there at Christmas time with a bunch of presents and give to them. It was just a fleeting thought. So we get back out there to do these tables, and sure enough, their name came up. So I went and told them what I wanted to do, that I wanted to give them an ad. And they said, well, we don't advertise, but we're always looking for help. So I said, well, this would be a great way to get, your name out there where you can advertise for help. And then when we brought them in for the celebration, I told him, I said, man, I told him a story about what I want to do. And I said, and I want to give you a check for $1,000 to help with Christmas presents or whatever you do. And well, that got us on their list. But it was an amazing testimony of what we do. And I had 2 emails from people, business owners that were there, that sent me an email and said, man, that was a amazing thing you did, and thank you and all this. So we donate one. One of our ads goes to back to the community. We feel like it's our way of tithing and giving back to the community. I've never had anybody turn it down. We've done humane societies, we've done churches, we did this mosaic. What else, Crystal, have we done here? One room school, a couple had started a private little school for people in the community, and we chipped in to help him and his wife. Who? Oh, the historical museum in Augusta. They've got the oldest building in the county sitting there in the town, little mud hut, and they've tried to keep it up to shape. But it's all the museum stuff there. And when I went to those ladies, they, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and we give them a donation. And so it's a way we do it to give back to the community. And we believe God has helped us with that. There was another place that's called Emmaus House. It's a food place where they give meals to the homeless in this community. We put an ad on and give them a little donation. So that's the way we do it. Some other people do it other ways. That's what we've done, and we believe that God has rewarded that. Staying prayed up and asking for guidance and wisdom and direction for everything we do is another reason we believe that we've been blessed with this. So.
Well, and you build relationships, lasting relationships very quickly that way. They don't forget it, and they remember you the next time when you come in to do another project. And that's what you're after, is that long-term relationship, where you're coming back and when you're doing renewals, you've got at least a 50% renewal rate. I've got some that are much higher than that, but that's the whole ticket in realizing you're not just after a sale today. You're after a relationship and developing that community, and you're going to be in there every year.
Yeah, when we did that one for that mosaic place and give that donation, when we went back 6 months later, we sold out the next restaurant in 3 days, and I think we had 60% renewal rate on that one. So anyway, but there's and you got to stay humble about the whole thing. We're not out there to toot our horn, do anything. We just believe it's a way to give back to the community and help some people that need help sometimes. So whether it's a help for ads or donations or whatever they want to put on there, it's a way we believe that it's our way of giving back to these communities that give to us. Givers, they call it givers gain.
Now, did I catch you right earlier, Mr. Stan, that y'all use Craigslist and Facebook?
We've never used Craigslist, just
Okay.
Facebook.
Just Facebook. And I have a question. Maybe I should or should not ask this. I don't really know, but it might be a silly question. But should I right now I'm just operating through my name. Would it be better, you think? I don't know if y'all do this, to have a LLC or something like that to work through. I mean, just an opinion,
I think everybody's got to decide that on their own as their business grows. We grew to where we didn't start out that way, but we've turned it into that now just because of the opportunity that it's become. It's still, my LLC is Stan Fisher and Associates. So, it's still my name because it's us. It's our business, Crystal and I's business. And so we are blessed to be partnered up with ABC and contract through them. Everything we've learned and know about this came from them, but we're still 1099, so it's
So
kind of your choice.
Yeah, so the great question there, and that is getting with, and I would highly recommend you doing that, getting and talking to several different CPAs, just so you get started the right way. It's easier to do as you go than to wait till the end of the year to try to make that transition. But there's a lot of paperwork, just making sure you're either tracking your mileage or just how do you want to do your taxes, for your vehicle, for your gas. There's multiple ways to do that. And if you can kind of give them a range of miles that you're putting on, they can kind of help you with that and where the best benefits are.
Thank you, sir. What it is I had a trucking company and I still have the LLC for it. And I seen one video that says I could use it and still just put on there as doing business as a DBA.
Yeah.
And doing that, but I'm a preacher. I pastor a small little church here. This is something that another pastor has got me into, and I'm enjoying it so far. I get to meet people, get to talk to people about the Lord at the same time. So I love it. So
Awesome.
it's way better than driving a truck.
Right. Well, you will love it. If you like people, it's the best business to be in.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Tony, it may be better that right now I'm starting, I always wrote off my mileage, but I think keeping those gas receipts might come out better now.
Well, they're still going to have to adjust for the mileage in the per diem. So again, I would talk to a CPA on that. But I know that should change with the cost of fuel. But it kind of depends on the age of your vehicle. It depends on, what you've got going on and what your income is. So, I've had a vehicle that was my personal vehicle that I just always wrote off miles and that was very good. But I know other people that, might buy newer cars. So you have that higher expense. You don't have as much maintenance. You may have payments or other things. And so it might come out better to have the company pay for the vehicle and to where the company's paying that and it's not income. So there's some different things with that. And I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just saying there are a lot of options. I wouldn't say that we're necessarily the business you just want to go to H&R Block and say, hey, do my taxes. I think I would try to find somebody there locally, that you can trust, that you really feel good about, and get some referrals,
Yeah.
so that you can get the best deductions you can, because there are some definite benefits.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yes, now in my packet, I didn't get a little small table printout like Mr. Stan did. Will that come like when I sign up a restaurant? Because I was just looking for something that I could show just a little bit, show a little bit more.
You'll
Go
have
ahead.
some samples in your kit of some of those. There'll be several samples of some of those, and then once you sign a restaurant, you'll get one as well for that restaurant.
Okay.
You can also go on the website and print off some of those different ones. I like to show them the ones without the ads on them so that they're looking at that background color, focusing, on the background color, instead of having white spots in there. Now I may have some that have the little boxes in them, to where but it's not making it so this white spots are just stacking out on a little bitty piece of paper.
Okay.
But
And we haven't done the web training yet, Raymond. We'll do that
Yeah.
Friday. But if you want to look at them before then, you can go to ad search at the top on the right side.
At the web,
On your, top right side, ad search, and then go down to restaurants, and you can just pick a category like Mexican and pick it, and then it'll start opening up a bunch of Mexican restaurant layouts.
All
And,
right.
you know, cafe and pub, and it'll do the same thing there. Barbecue, it'll do the same thing there.
I just,
And
I
then
had, I seen one little sheet in there about the prices of the ads and, you know, breaking it down even by monthly payments, which I like. Because a lot of people that I had talked to before, it's just like they couldn't afford it right now. It took me 5 weeks to do, but anyway,
I think that the price sheet that you're talking about is something that they put in there, because sometimes people use that to show, you know, if you pay for it all up front on your credit card, you could pay payments of whatever, and, you know, all up front, you get 10% off, so it's covering any interest if you didn't get it paid off at your next, you know, credit card bill time.
but all that changes per restaurant, right?
As far as your pricing, yes, it'll change some per restaurant.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh. All right, any other questions or comments? Success stories?
How long has Mr. Stan been with ABC? Just a question.
2
2
years.
years in March,
2 years.
so a little over 2 years, but there again, we didn't get to do much them first few months because COVID hit. So, couple years,
Yeah, I'm glad I'm from Florida.
yeah.
I'm not gonna pick on nobody tonight, though. I'm playing.
All right, Tony, you wanna say a prayer, close us out?
Sure will. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this day. We thank you for the country that we live in. We thank you for the many blessings that you pour out on us every day. We thank you for our health. We ask you to guide and direct us as we're out and about in the community. Keep us safe, Father, and may we, you know, not only pay attention to the people that we see, but you know, reminded of how grateful we are for the things that we have. And we ask that your blessing be with these communities, with these folks driving around. And we're just so thankful for each and every one of them. Father, expand our territory, keep us from evil. These things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Guys.
Have a great night.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Tony, you better leave your hat on if you're gonna be outside.